Yeah, so you may have a lot of questions, and please ask your question, and we try our best to answer your question. Okay? Good. And do you have any questions? Anybody? Don't be shy. Yeah, we are the international guys, and our English is.
Question, Jerry.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Firstly, thanks for your sharing and it's very helpful. My question might be a little different because as I know that about 80% of our students will go to graduate school from JAMCU directly. And my plan is to take a year gap to try some internship or gain some work experience. So I know what I really love. So what do you think of that? Is that risky or is it good?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. It's not risky, honestly. What is the reason? Because if you're going to work, okay, I give you an example. My job, I work first in the bank before I go to my MBA. What is the reason? When I went to an MBA, it's much easier. What is the reason? Because of your experience. When they give you case study, you can easily interact more with your professor. You can easily interact with other students based on your experience. Okay? So I don't think it's risky. But this is the thing, just like what other professor, what is your goal? If you are so motivated with your goal, nobody can stop you. What do you want?
But I'm afraid that I go to a job and the future may not be, I cannot predict the future. So I maybe cannot go back to school again. So I'm so afraid of that.
That's why you need to know what is your goal. For example, I told you, my goal is what? To go out of the Philippines. Okay? That is my goal. From the beginning, I graduate and I start doing working as a teller. My goal is to go out of the Philippines. Just like I told you, I check all the scholarship. Okay? I worked in the bank for 4 years. Okay? Then I do my master. Then go to PhD. That is my goal. I have a very clear goal. Okay? That's why, guys, it's okay to work. It's not risky to work. But the thing is, what you really want. Okay? Even you come to us and give you advice, but if you are not decided what you really want, even our advice cannot help you. Are we good, guys?
I had a short experience of working for admission committee of the university about ethics actually. Something is important. It doesn't matter if you want to. If you want to go to actually work for 1 year, make sure you work for 1 year. All right, because if they find out a gap between your studies, for example, there is a question where you have been during this 1 year. So try to have a track record of this 1 year, for example, gap. Otherwise it's going to be kind of
So I have to answer.
Okay,
I have a mixed answer to this question because if you apply for the MBA program, then actually they are looking for your experience. Okay, but if you are looking for a master's program, then it's better to continue because in master program you don't need so much experience. But for MBA program, you really have at least 2 years solid background of your experience, right? So if you want to take a gap, it's okay. But Muhammad already said that try to connect. Okay. So when you have gap 1 or 2 years, and when you will apply for a graduate school again, try to write a letter something like this. What is your connection, right? This is your undergraduate background. Then why you go for the work and what experience you earn from your working experience. Then how you want to develop yourself in future and how your future degree will help you to reach your goal. How try to connect each other. Okay, undergraduate program connected with your experience. Then it should be connected with your master's program or MBA program. Then if you have connection, then it is not a problem.
Okay, Ken.
Just in addition, for example, if you want to work also, okay, 1 year or 2 years, you need to do your job in order for you to get a recommendation from your manager. Because the recommendation of your manager, for example, you get a recommendation, you contact us again. Hey, Miss Candy, we want a recommendation from you. It's already solid because you have education, you're an academic, we're going to write your recommendation. Now you're going to get another recommendation from your manager. So which means you are what? Much more qualified, right? Because a manager from the company, you have a business experience as well as academic, and you are doing your master. So which means it adds value. Everything what you do, it adds value. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, sorry. And any other question? Somebody? Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, give me a second. Okay. So, Jagan, thank you.
Well, it seems that I entered the wrong. I'm an English major student.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you personally a question. You finished your study, master study in Germany?
Yeah.
And so can you share with me some of your experiences of the Prüfungstestdarf?
Pardon?
The Testdarf. The German...
German test?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, what happened? I completed my MBA program in Germany, and that's a formal language was English. So I didn't need to take that German language skill set.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Okay. Good. And any other questions?
Maybe his question is.
There is a question is over here.
Okay, hello. Yeah, thank you, Jara.
I think nowadays, like many Chinese students are very pay much attention to their GMAT score or GPA, or more like pay less attention to the personal statement or like the career goal they want to achieve. So I want to know the like percentage, like how high this kind of things the university will look on, like they pay much attention on the score or they pay much more attention on your PMs or reputation letters.
Mohammed can answer that.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I understand your question, that you asked that whether a recommendation letter is more important or a GMAT score or GRE score is more important, right? So my answer is your GMAT score is more important here, because what is the GMAT score? Because why a GMAT score is important? Because it is the assessment tools that will justify your academic background. If you have high score, then your academic background is very strong. If you have lower score, that means you have a lack of academic skill, right? So my experience is your GMAT score is very important, because actually we professor can, I can say, for example, I can a little bit manipulate my recommendation letter, right? But you cannot manipulate your GPA score. You cannot manipulate your GMAT, right? You cannot manipulate your GRE score. So this is well organized by a developed organization, right? So we can manipulate our letter, right? But you cannot manipulate your GMAT score or GRE score. So my answer is GRE score or GMAT is really very important to get, not only for admission but also your scholarship. But you know that we all professors we have this scholarship. Why? Because we have this kind of score, good score. Okay.
Okay, Candy, please.
Mohammed.
Yes, as Dr. Joy mentioned, actually universities have different levels of filtering students. So for example, the program Finance, University of Edinburgh, they just won out 50 students, right? And they received almost 800, 900 applications. So if you were missed of them, how do you filter students? So first of all, you start with GPA, GMAT, IELTS, right? So they try to pick up the highest one, and then they look at the SOP, the translator, etc.
To tell you honestly, I will not give any percentage to anything, GMAT or TOEFL. This is only my opinion. What is the reason? If you are applying and you want to achieve something, you need to be prepared for everything, right? It's not, I need to be higher in GMAT, I need to be higher in TOEFL, but I tell you guys, a lot of smart people right now, a lot of Chinese are graduating. Even in my class, I have 174 students, okay? 20% of that students, they have 3.9 GPA. So that 3.9 GPA, for example, all of them, they're going to apply in Hong Kong. So what will happen? Am I just going to base on GPA, GMAT, or TOEFL? Maybe all your right now I'm checking a resume. I'm checking a resume of my students, and they have a TOEFL of 100 and above. So which means, let's just say those 20%, they have a GPA of 3.9. They have a TOEFL of 100 and above. They have a GMAT like this. So how are you going to be competitive again? Right? That's why, guys, when you apply, you need to have everything prepared. From interview, from presentation, from statement of purpose, from GMAT. Don't think about, I need to concentrate more on GMAT. You need to concentrate in everything. It's like what? Applying for a job. Applying for a job, you don't know who is your competitor. So what are you going to do? You need to prepare yourself, right? That's why, guys, don't think about the percentage. Just prepare everything. Do it with your best. Okay? Then, pray. Okay?
Pray, yes.
Actually, may I add one thing more? So now in the UK, as far as I know, there is a competition between Chinese students too, because government asks university to not take more than 30% of students in each program from China. So it's not like if a program of finance is going to be 100 students, 30 of them will be Chinese.
Okay, yes.
Don't worry, don't get scared.
No, they are such a good students.
The most important thing is you need to prepare everything. Because when you prepared everything, at least the chances is so high. For you
Yeah,
to
I mean,
do
they are
it.
worried that all university occupied by Chinese, right? So that's
Yeah, because Chinese students are smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting a smart device.
Yeah. Okay, so answer is enough?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And any other question? Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm a finance student and I plan to apply for a financial engineering major. So it's a kind of change major in my master's program because I know these two programs are a little bit different. And the financial engineering is more emphasized on mathematics skills. So what can I do to show my ability that I can manage in the master's program of financial engineering? Because I didn't take much mathematical course in my undergraduate program, and so what can I do to improve the possibility that I can be admitted by the master's program of financial engineering?
And Mohammed must have idea.
yes, as I advised the other students, actually, you need to take some advanced mathematics courses. Right? So we have advanced mathematics courses. You need to take them. And also derivatives, that is a kind of compulsory course, right?
But I think, because I'm now a senior student, so I don't have much
You should
time.
ask this question 2 years ago.
I just want to answer this one because I have a student in Abu Dhabi, okay? She's a management graduate student in undergraduate. Then she took management engineering, okay? Which is totally different with business management and management engineering. But she was able to get the master of management engineering. This is my advice, only my advice, based on her experience. What happened? We checked the website, okay? Then we tried what are the eligibility of the students to take that one. So we check, for example, you need to be high score in statistics, okay? You need to have a high score like this, those things. So what happened? She go to the, for example, I'm the one of the recommendation letter. She asked me and another professor, okay? So what happened? We read the qualification of management and engineering, and we try to customize a letter, and we check the subject of my student. Oh, she did a good job in this mathematics classes. So we wrote a letter, and we asked another professor in mathematics to write another recommendation. Because just like what you have, you're already 4th year. You cannot do anything right now. The only thing right now is to maximize your professor who's going to help you. You take business statistics. Why don't you ask your professor in business statistics to write you a recommendation letter? Okay? And another thing, check what are the things that required by that master. Okay? Maybe you can write in your CV, statement of the purpose. Okay? At least you are preparing yourself right now. Okay? That is the best thing you can do right now because you're going to graduate soon.
I'm also praying.
Oh, yeah, we need the doctor. But Jahid, do you have any suggestion? Okay,
Okay, I think.
so that's enough?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. And any other questions? Yeah, feel free. Don't be shy. This is good chance. Okay, so that's it? So are you done? Okay, we have more time. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
Go SC.
I want to ask something actually about accounting because we know that we have to
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
working.
okay. We have to get a lot of like certificates or license according to accounting major because you have to if you apply to a job you need some
Certificate.
yes. So I want to ask, like in our stage, what kind of certificate or license can we get to maximize possibility for us to get a higher chance to admitted by the college of the master
Accounting.
program?
Accounting, Jahid, please.
Let me answer this because
Welcome, CJ. Please come in.
microphone. But anyway, there's a common misconception that you need some kind of license to improve your chance for the graduate school.
Okay.
The reality is that that has very little bearing. For instance, the common license we have in China are ACCA, Australia CPA, useless for the American institutions. ACCA may have a little help with English accounting system, accounting graduate schools, but ultimately what matters is your, like it's probably covered already, three big things, your GPA, your test scores, and the recommendation letter that they're trying to address your possible perceived deficiencies. So at this stage, very little can be done. Just like the other gentleman asked about the mathematics, the people coming late, like 17 freshmen, they are very lucky. But they started with say math 2400, not low-level math, so they have no issue whatsoever to address that. But for the current students, what you can do is to leave what we have and address whatever the needs. For instance, financial engineering, yes, they want a math, but also some schools, if you decide GMAT, if you take GRE score, and if you score perfect in math, that's still equivalent to high conception. Yes, you did very well. You have a good solid math run. Actually, for a lot of master MS financial engineering, they prefer GRE score over GMAT scores. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that financial engineering, there's a misconception about it. Because I was in the investment banking industry and I was doing the layering the product and everything. You want to ask yourself what you're going to do with your degree. That's something you're trying to figure out. Yeah, what you want to do is to deal with esoteric asset pricing and such. The degree is not going to help you that much because that's reserved for PhD in mathematics or theoretic physics. And for layering a product, building a new product, it has very little to do with your mathematics skills. It has with modeling and research and such. So, and one part of the equation is that you know how to operate those software and such. So they solve taking care of the mathematical part. But the other part is more creative. It's like building a jigsaw puzzle. It's like a Lego piece. Trying to build a new product, you have to layer properly. I know it's kind of hard for you to understand. For instance, CMO may have 30 different tranches. How are you going to laying out that correctly? It's literally like building the Lego pieces together. So it requires quite completely different skills than mathematics or financial engineering. So there's a lot of misconception. Yes, it sounds beautiful.
But yeah. And though, can I ask a question about that? Okay, so the ACCA is quite critical to apply for the graduate program in UK for accounting?
Now again, it's
No?
Yes.
Okay.
If your ultimate goal is to stay overseas, say like in the United States, an AICPA, but you cannot sit down into an AICPA unless you have either 150 college credits or for the Chinese students, they can choose to go to Guam, which is a protectorate of the United States territory. You can pick one of the 4 states in the United States that still only require 120 college credits to allow you to sit down into the American CPA. Now, if your ultimate goal is to return back to China to pursue accounting professions, then the Chinese CPA is why you are pursuing, not anything else. Of course, if you can have an AICPA, that's still great because there's a lot of foreign companies that's been dominated by American players that still highly value AICPA. But in China, CPA is the golden standard. Nothing else matters.
Okay. Good. Yeah, done. Thank you so much. Okay, so is there anybody who are interested in the management? I'm isolated totally. Any questions more? No? Okay, so then, yeah, can we wrap up? Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for your figures, and thank you for your participation. Thank you. Yes.